All right, what's up, y'all? Back with part two. I did not expect to make a part two, but I'm gonna try to do this relaxed because this is gonna be the last time that I get to address this before tomorrow. So I don't think a lot of y'all understand like my frustration when it comes to this thing. All right, that's better. Okay. So when it comes to like the whole Stafford thing, like I've said this before, man. I live in the city of Detroit, or I've lived in the city of Detroit. And I'm 42 years old. I've probably stayed in the city of Detroit for 32 to 35 years. Moved out to like Dearborn Heights. Now I stay in a surrounding suburb, but I grew up on a street called Foyer. And y'all don't understand, man. Like, this is beyond not only Matthew Stafford, but it's beyond football. If he wins this thing, forget the Detroit Lions. They're going to talk about my city. Like, my city, bro. And I don't want to be offensive to you guys, but if you don't live in Detroit, if you've never lived in Detroit, if you're not from Detroit, I don't want to call you, I don't consider you less of a Lions fan. I think you're a different Lions fan. You have a different reason to be a Lions fan. Let's say that you're in the 75-mile radius, that you are forced to watch this. I've heard so many stories from so many creators and so many people. How in the world did you become a Lions fan? And it goes to as simple as Barry Sanders or watching their grandfather, and a lot of it is family. And this stuff goes deep. But for me, it's about my city, man. It's about nobody wants to come here. Nobody wants to stay here. I saw something today. Kelly Stafford said, and I'm not going to talk about the man's wife, but she said, if anybody is telling you, meaning Detroit Lions fans, that you can't root for Stafford, then they're wrong, because Detroit made him who he was. You know what we don't do in the city of Detroit? We don't run. We don't. We stand and we take it. You understand what I'm saying? The state of Michigan as a whole, and I'm losing my light. So when it comes to Stafford, it's not, I've been telling y'all all year, man, it has very little to do with Stafford. It has everything to do with how this is going to do for the city of Detroit. What it's going to mean. Nope, like, you don't understand, man. I told you I used to drive a school bus, and the kids on the school bus, Mr. Fields, where are you from? And said Detroit. Where do you live? I said Detroit. And they said, first thing they did was gasp. Like, oh my God, are you okay? Like that was their reaction when they heard Detroit. It's just, it goes beyond the city. It goes beyond the NFL team. And it goes to the fact that Matthew Stafford getting out of the city of Detroit and getting to LA and winning, what it will mean for the city. So y'all don't understand. It's going to mean, forget the Lions, forget the Ford organization. It is going to be, all we're going to hear is how he escaped the depth of despair. Not the football team, but the city. I feel like, I was born in 1979, and one of my favorite movies is Rocky. One of my favorite characters, is Rocky Balboa. And I know he's fictional, but he means so much. He means the underdog. He stands for when you don't have it in you to push and to push harder, right? And my favorite Rocky movie is Rocky IV. You can call it what you want, but I feel like that the LA Rams and everybody who is supporting them is Ivan Drago. I feel like the city of Detroit is Apollo Creed, and the Cincinnati Bengals is Rocky Balboa. And I want them to win so much because they are closer to my team than a guy who used to play for my team. They represent what my team is. Building through the draft, there, but you can't take it all the way. That is the team I'm rooting for. I'm not rooting for a team that is stacked and packed and, steroided up. I must break you. If he lives, he dies. What does he say? If he dies, he dies. That's who the Rams are. Steroided Ivan Drago. The city of Detroit is Apollo Creed. And the Cincinnati Bengals are Rocky Balboa. And I want them to pull an upset, because while everybody's cheering for Stafford and whatever you think it means for the city of Detroit, it doesn't mean what you think. What do you think it's going to mean that a guy who left the city, why not like Eminem? Eminem stays, I don't think he lives in Detroit, but he stayed close. And I don't have no problem with living in Birmingham. I mean, I live outside the city. But that's my home. That's where I rep. I don't rep Detroit City because of the football team. I rep Detroit because that's where I'm from. You understand? So Stafford jokes, Stafford narrative, and NFL narrative aside, that's what this means to me. It will be reflected on my city as the dump that Stafford escaped to win the Super Bowl. And y'all might not see that, but I do. And Detroiters see that. They see beyond the football field. They see beyond the Ford organization, and they see this thing for what it really is. If you come to Detroit as a cesspool of everything wrong with the world. And this is just going to be another blemish on that whole thing. So with every ounce of my fiber, I want the Cincinnati Bengals to win. Because even though Stafford got there, it'll be he almost got there. Not that he got there. Because what happens, not that he won it, because what happens after that, the relentless stuff that will be talked about. See, y'all got to understand, the football team, why do we get so excited for our football team? The football team is an extension of us. It's an extension of where we came from. That's why we are so loyal. That's why we can move and rep and never forget about this team. That's why we might move to LA, but our roots are in the D, and we always will root for them because that's what made us. But unlike NFL players, we can't pick and choose where we want to go. So I need the Bengals to win tomorrow. I really do. If Stafford, I've asked myself this: if Stafford came back, would I be able to root for him? And I'm like, well, he would be part of my team. It would be tough, man. See, I'm not a Cleveland, this is for you. That whole LeBron James done, that is trash. LeBron James, he did try for 7 years to do what he could. Cleveland didn't build around him, and you could say the same thing about our team. But it wasn't the same. For me, it won't be the same. It won't be coming back. He already had 2 titles when he came back. It's not the same. Now, he cried and all of that, and I totally expect Stafford to do that. But for me, man, it's nothing like I can only imagine how Bengals fans feel right now. Being there, how Chicago Cub fans feel from the dirt, man, from when you were nothing, when you were 0-16, and now you are the champions of the world. That's what my problem has been all year. But anyway, let me go do this thing, man. But I wanted y'all to understand. So tomorrow, I will be rooting for Rocky Balboa to upset the steroided Ivan Drago. Because if I can change, you can change. All right, y'all, I'm out.